I'm not allowed to have fish.
I've got a huge tank to host like my one fucking fish.
I've never been a fish man.
I'm not allowed to have fish in this apartment because I'm directly over the electrical system. So if the entire building's power goes out.
I dated a fish man once.
Enough. All right. With the evening taking, you're going to bed. You're going to trance. You're going to rest.
Yeah.
Does anyone?
I'm gonna go back and inspect that old wood carving.
Sure. My next question was: is anyone gonna do any snooping? Because of course you're resting at a new place overnight. Rakath is starting the snooping. Okay.
I'm not snooping. I'm walking directly there. I'm not even.
No, I know it's proverbial snoop.
It is honor out in the open and being clear about my intentions.
Yes.
Yes.
You said a really good idea. By the way, we can use the ghost goop you got maybe to make more potions of etherealness later on. But
My
you do
small
have
vial
one
of
in inventory right now.
I have one small vial of Ithi
Mm-hmm.
and one potion of etherealness.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I have one case of mimic goop.
How would you like to investigate this?
I'd like to rip my earbud out of my ear so I can't hear what you're saying.
How would you like to investigate the painting further? The art.
Well, the art. Well, so having looked at it from an artistic perspective and now knowing that there is a change to what has actually been done with it in the sense that it has been altered, knowing that there is an addition made and knowing what Univara did with that, I'm not going to break it again by
you don't get to decide that.
But you know you can fix it
Yes.
if you just scrape away all the changes.
So,
it's like a freaking.
What I'd like to first do is investigate and determine if it's utilizing the same materials. If it was intended to, first of all, look like it is actually as it was originally, or if the artist did it knowing full well that it would be noticed that there was a change.
Forgery check.
Sure. That's much better.
The changes are congruent with art style, which is why they're pretty hard to notice. Using the right kind of paint, although of course a slightly different paint because of just time. You know, you can't just buy paint out this far, it has to be mixed. What was the last nugget of that question? 3A?
Excuse me. Basically, was it intended to be hidden?
No.
Or was this
It
just...
looks like it's not so much hiding something, but more just adding more detail to her.
Right.
And maybe tweaking what was already there. Basically, this painting was done. At some point after that, quite a while it seems, more detail was added to make her look the way she does.
Okay.
Which isn't different than how she looks.
It's not hidden, it's not some secret, it's just
Nope.
This was an addition. Then I'm going to stop investigating at that point. Because at this point, if it's not intending to be hidden, then I have no reason to dig further. That's pretty much...
We're gonna stop sniffing at this red herring.
Yeah, exactly. It's cute, though. Voss is an adorable child.
That's not true.
Nope. But I'm saying it to be nice.
He looks exactly the same, but he's only like 4 feet tall.
Aww.
Little
Looks just as
gremlin.
angry.
Does anyone else want to do any snooping?
No.
Okay.
I'm
I was
just gonna cut him
debating. I was like debating on a demi snoop.
assuming he's there.
Yeah.
If he's not there, I'm gonna wander.
I mean, I'm definitely there, but I was debating on like a demi snoop, but like,
Just a little walk around the premises at night.
well, I know Univara wanted to see like the annals of our library in the temple, basically, which is like not.
That's
really...
not a demi snoop. That's a snoop
Full
plus.
Snoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's a snoop apocalypse.
so, assuming Voss is in the room,
Yes.
I'm gonna be cuddling him.
Cute.
Factually.
Actually, that's happening. The pillows and blankets don't matter because I intend to trance on his lap all night long, right?
Very small.
If he is like actually not trancing and thinking about something, I'm gonna ask him, "Where's your mind?"
He's gonna be thinking about
I
his
can cast magic.
demi snoop, I imagine.
Right.
I mean,
Oh my god. The chat. It's a lap trance.
It is a laugh.
Ah!
That's good. That's good. That's kawaii. That's kosher. That's great.
All the things.
So you're doing this like after our 4 hours or whatever, or right before?
It depends. So what from... there's a variable chart here. She comes upstairs. Are you there? Yes. Are you trancing? Or are you just kind of in an actual meditative state?
Hanging out, waiting for her.
Yes.
Before I turn off
Once
the night.
cuddles in progress equal true.
It's an algorithm.
Are you trancing or are you just kind of staying up thinking?
Well, I imagine trancing isn't like a switch. Like
No,
it's probably...
but it's kind of like, are you trying to fall asleep or are you staying up thinking?
You enter like a lotus position, like you're
Yeah.
obviously...
Yeah, like at first maybe, but I mean, if this is when you're casting this, are you casting a spell or are you just casting?
I'm not. Like I'll just be like sitting like on your lap. Like I will eventually have like progressed to do that. Like, it'll start with the back-to-back cuddles, and then it'll like slowly like I'll make my way.
Yeah.
It's like a cat.
At which point I definitely
is
wouldn't be
canon.
trying to fall asleep because it's like, all right, I know that like this is just escalating, so let me just wait until you're comfortable before I even like try to.
Yeah, no, and then I'm comfortable while I'm there. But then like if you like continue like just like stay awake, like and like mindful rather than trancing, I will ask you, why aren't you trancing?
Well, there is a place that I know you would be very interested in seeing. However, it is not a place that we are technically supposed to be.
Well, that doesn't have to stop us.
I mean, it doesn't have to. It is.
But you're bringing it up, so I assume we're gonna go there now.
I mean, I feel like it is a place that holds great importance to my family, which you eventually will be part of as I have become part of yours. So I feel like it is not completely off limits in a sense. However, given that the formalities of such things have not transpired, it might be frowned upon should we be discovered.
We can ask forgiveness later, and I will stand up, and I will like hold up my hand to like take his and help him up.
There's like a moment of hesitation, then he's just like, fuck it, like, I'll pay for this later, presumably. This new apocalypse has begun.
Okay. When you
I
head
take
across,
my sword,
sure.
for sure. Just in case.
Sure. Yeah.
But not my armor.
Okay. On the way out, you don't have to roll a stealth check because they're not paying attention to you. Kind of facing off the cliff. Because this would be, maybe an hour, maybe 2 have passed. Jureko and Rokos are sitting having a chat. Sitting on a rock together, talking. If you want to snoop on them, you'll have to give me a perception check while you're passing.
I'll give a little perception check. Mostly just to see if I notice it.
Oh, you do. You do, but Yuna doesn't. She's being very diligent in her snooping. You see them having this. It's a very quiet conversation. You know, it's restful nighttime. You hear a bit of a conversation where Jericho's actually talking about you and says, "When I first met Voss, he was cold and distant, and honestly, that was quite worrying." And Rokos is like, "Not everyone has the warmth and charisma of I." And Jericho genuinely laughs quite a bit at that.
Oh, so cute.
It just seems like they're having a nice evening conversation.
Chat. Great. I will just lean to you and whisper and be like, "It would seem my brother is attempting to poison the mind of Jericho, but he seems diligent in his dealings."
Oh. I hope everything goes well.
Not too well. Anyways.
That's brotherly for you. Alright.
I ship it, Will says. Yeah. Hashtag Jerokos.
You go across the courtyard to the wooden gate on the far side, which is locked. The lock is actually a slight puzzle lock. The wooden elements of the door twist and shift, eventually creating opening up. You're going to be able to give me an intelligence check with advantage, Mr. Voss, to snoop out.
Great. Not the smartest boy, but I'm the luckiest boy.
What? Both of those were good too. Like,
yeah,
the solid 19 on a.
You take a moment to think back on your past, and you remember the very intricate, slightly over the top Rubik's Cube puzzle solution to the puzzle door, and it opens up to the hillside towards the temple, which, unlike the courtyard, is not decorated. There is, like the roads amongst Narashiro caverns, a path that has been traveled by footfalls of people, but not much more than that. And you can walk up to the temple with its grand, fairly detailed pillars. When you get up close, you can see that on the pillars is this scale-like twisting pattern. And it's made of the same rocks as the cavern, so it doesn't look out of place. But unlike pretty much everything else, there's no light inside. Your dark vision is all that you can see through. When you there's no door or anything in the temple, it's just open. When you walk in, there is a grand chamber, which with your dark vision, you can't quite see the walls. You can see the floors, very intricate. There's a big circle on the floor with similar draconic designs. And eventually you see the main display of the temple. In this semicircular, and I don't mean a semicircle, it is sort of a circle chamber. There is this big, actually semicircular wall of text. The text is in this language that's swirling, looping, shifting, changing, which I don't think any of you speak or read Umbral, but it is quite clearly Umbral. And on top of it is the top half of a draconic skeleton. The skeleton itself is, the shadows hang off it in such a way where you first see it, it always seems like it's lurching at you. And this is a huge thing that leans and leers over you with a very overpowering presence. And it's clinging to the side of the wall and then leaning over it, and the wings kind of outstretch into the darkness of the temple. Behind this wall are the halls and halls and halls of scroll stands and things, and the curiously well decorated insides. The only real time you got to explore this was one particular time. You don't come here very often, only the matriarch does.
I just kind of do a gesture to this whole situation. Just say, welcome to my family's temple. There is much housed here that I'm sure would interest you greatly.
Very much so.
That I've wanted to show you for quite some time. And then I'll just kind of...
Keep on side?
Yeah. Let's just go hand in hand. I'll lead you to the cool scrolls.
Can you guys give me perception checks?
I
Perception?
don't think I can read them though. You mentioned they were written in Infernal, which I don't speak.
It depends on the scroll.
Mm.
And the good news about that is you are with someone who does speak Infernal, so I can always read them to you.
Remember, Umbral is separate from Infernal.
Yes.
But some of the texts here are in Infernal. The texts are some in Elvish, some in Draconic, some in Umbral, some in Infernal. It is a vast
Some in
collection.
Celestial?
Yeah,
How about deep speech?
maybe. It's a weird, kind of eclectic selection of knowledge, but it's all very themed about the realm, the Shadow Realm, the connections between realities, dragons, death, in a very metaphysical sense. But after coming down here, Voss, you are aware. You remember that Lady Vera said that she was going to go and meditate on these things, and you can hear her actually singing in some of the deeper parts of the temple. It's a very slow, quiet umbral song. It's almost like a funeral dirge mixed with a lullaby, which kind of represents the whole teachings.
Yeah.
But she is in this temple, and you should not be. If she is aware of your presence, and she usually is.
I didn't rely on it for business checks. I don't even know.
No.
I just kind of look at you tomorrow and I just say, like, wide-eyed, like, okay.
What's wrong?
Lady Vera is here.
Okay.
She probably knows that we're here.
Well, I mean, if she already knows, then
Yes, once the seal is broken, I mean, she hasn't stopped what she's doing, which means either she doesn't care enough to stop, or she merely plans on killing me later when we sleep. In either case, this is something that when I was in my seclusion, I enjoyed reading much of what was here. Most of my studies revolved around battle techniques and that sort of thing.
Mhm.
However, I'm sure there is much knowledge here that may pertain to magic and things that I did not completely understand, nor had the proper time to actually synthesize. Always looking something up in the monster manual, and that scares me. Anyways.
I would like to say, but ultimately it's your choice. We can choose to stay and deal with the consequences, or we can choose to leave and also deal with the consequences. Do you think your lady is one to accept our mistake and move on, or do you think it'll be the same either way?
Oh, I'm sure she will forgive us. It may take several hundred years and seemingly large amount of beatings and such, but if you wish to stay, we will stay.
I said it was your choice. You can't say it's my
And
choice.
I am making the choice that we will stay.
Okay.
With that, what kind of scroll would Yuna first take interest in?
I'm gonna look for anything I can read, which would be Celestial or Elvish.
Okay. A lot of the Elvish texts are quite new. They're still in a very traditional style that makes them seem old-fashioned, but they are clearly something a drow has written, whereas the older ones are these are relics of an ancient time. The ones you find in Celestial are very hard reading because it doesn't seem like they were written to be read by a mortal. it kind of takes a different sort of implication. When you go around looking for all of these things, as Yuna kind of would, like a child in a sweet shop, kind of looking at a little bit of everything before truly deciding what you're looking at.
If I do go the celestial route, I would like to say that not only am I reading these, but I'm trying to transcribe them as well.
Yes.
Because I understand that celestial is not something many people learn outside of the temple. And I imagine not too many of the people of the Temple of the Daimao come here. So this could be useful for them, maybe enough for them to forgive us for snooping.
Okay. One moment then. The thing you find is actually of quite a lot of import to you, and it's of healing the soul. When you start to transcribe it, about how the soul is quite physical and can be damaged, and how to heal it using magic and all those sorts of things. You're not quite all the way through transcribing it when an ethereal gust of wind billows out from the inside of the temple. That's with it comes a little bit of that funeral song, a little bit of a roar. Can you two roll me initiative real quick?
Real quick.
Real quick.
Real quick.
Real quickerino.
Just want you guys to know, Rofi was too loud, so I went to go sleep outside with Scritches.
I was gonna say, oh, with Scritches? Thank you.
Literally climbing onto Scritch's back space and having a nice little nap on Scritches.
Oh, I'm glad you're sleeping with Scritches, the furthest way away from this place you could possibly be.
That's why I brought it up now, because this is relevant information.
You.
With my rundlet barrel, and I did tell Rofi where I was going, though. So he paid some attention.
Yes, the information was in his brain.
Yeah.
As you're standing there between these tall bookcases, the temple, this chamber in particular, before you get to the deeper parts, which are mostly meditation chambers, and curious pathways that seem to go to nowhere. There's many rows of this, but the rows are separated by bookshelves that are not completely full. You could squeeze between them if you wanted. Kind of in this space, apparating as if the bookshelves kind of weren't there, is the shadowy shape of a dragon. It is not complete. It's kind of hard to look at, like it's always in the corner of your eyes, but it apparates in the, towards a door further into the temple, and roars at the two of you. And then there's another gust of that horrible, terrible wind that chills you to the core. And can you both give me wisdom saving throws, please?
Can I? Yes.
So good.
You both fail. As this shocking, terrifying, frightful appearance appears. You're both going to take 34 psychic damage.
Oh.
Oh, is that all?
Well, I'm unconscious.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Yuna collapses, most likely into Voss's arms.
I'm still conscious.
You are frightened of the dragon, understandably. And that leads you to your turn, Voss. Let's not worry about death saves now.
No. Who needs to?
Who needs
death saves? Who needs them?
Who needs them?
Well, considering that I'm frightened, that means I can't move closer to it.
Can't move closer, you can only move away, which away is out of the temple.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do that.
Okay, give me an athletics check.
Are you carrying Yuna?
Yeah, for the record, what I'm gonna do is carry Yuna, and I am going to use my movement and then use my action to dash.
Yeah, don't
and
worry,
then
we're
action
doing
surge
we're
and
doing
dash with that as
Don't
well.
worry about that. Roll me an athletics check.
That's a 13.
Could be better.
It could be. Could also be low.
Luckily, the shadowy, ghostly dragon follows you, but slowly. To the extent that it actually doesn't get in reach to bite or claw at you, but it is just this continuing presence until you run out of the actual temple pillars. And then you look back and it was like it was never there, but you can still feel the cold air and a very cold, shivering and slightly shaking Yuna. Looks like she's having a very bad nightmare.
Copy that. And with that, we're gonna run back to the room, and I'm gonna administer a little health potion.
She does not wake up.
That's okay, as long as she's not dying.
Never said she was dying. Seems like she's having a nightmare.
I'm just having a bad dream.
It's
Fine.
Super fine.
The potion does help with the kind of chill about her body and the cold sweat, sheen of sweat on her skin, but it quickly returns as she continues to have a night terror.
Cool. I will try to wake her up if she's sleeping.
How are you gonna do
This
that?
is sleeping nonsense.
Just grab her firmly in a hug, I guess.
Okay.
And then just kind of say, Yuna, wake up.
That sounds to me like a
Aw.
charisma check.
Does it?
There's no true love roll. She does not wake up.
If anything, I show my love with strength, but...
Well, that's a different kind of loving, if you know what I mean.
If she doesn't wake up from that, then I'm just gonna shake her.
Doesn't appear to do anything.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm just gonna lay her down on the pillows and just sit there. And wait for an amount of time.
How long would you wait?
Like an hour, probably.
Okay. Nothing's changed. She's
Great.
still deep in nightmare.
Are you going to tell Ratcath?
After an hour has passed. So now.
Very
Yes.
disappointed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna leave Yuna, but I will call for a house person.
They will arrive.
Just say,
You really are just avoiding calling them a servant, huh?
yes. And just say, house person, go and find Raka.
At once, Master Nor and Will.
Please, and
Go
tell
on.
him to come here.
And Rakath is summoned.
Okay,
Upstairs.
I'll climb down from Scritches with my barrel and put the barrel over my shoulder and walk back, being very confused and sleepy.
When you enter Voss's bedroom, which you haven't been in before, but that doesn't matter. She has told where to go.
It's a square
You
room.
see, laid down, a shivering, shaking, trapped within nightmare Yuna. Like I said, the potion cleared her for a few moments. Now she is in a cold sweat, clearly in a lot of distress.
I would like to check to see if this is a physical ailment or something more mental.
Medicine check.
Medi-san is checking. Poorly, apparently.
Without knowing how it happened, it's really hard to tell.
Voss, what the hell happened?
I want to say it was a demon. We were assailed by a shadowy being. The
How?
details aren't important.
They very much are. It's going to determine how I'm able to help. in this moment, I don't care what you've done. No matter how stupid it was.
Nothing.
The fact that you are
done.
avoiding the conversation.
The fact of the matter is, we were assailed by some kind of shadowy presence, which assaulted both of us. I felt immense pain and clouding of the mind. Yuna passed out. I got her back here. I administered a health potion. She did not wake up. She is now in the state that you see.
Okay, well,
You must do something, Raka.
hold this.
I hand you my barrel.
Hold the barrel.
And I'm gonna, first of all, I'm gonna open her eye. And see-
Eyes, like, looking
yeah,
around.
okay, so she's in REM. So she is dreaming then.
All right, well, she is dreaming. Poorly, by the looks of it.
You think?
Well, that's what I get with a 10.
True. Yeah, you know what? I won't sassy roleplay again. I will.
Not yet.
All right.
Well, with that in mind, knowing that she is dreaming, I'm going to speak to her to try and insert some calmness into her dream. I'm going to actually just use guided meditation methods for her to try and speak calmness into her by essentially describing calm places that she would be familiar with, tea rooms in particular, and friends surrounding her, comfort and warmth, and it would be essentially just think of yourself in the home in Narashiro, tea room, Nero, Voss, drink.
Give me a persuasion check. There's no real better skill for that, sadly.
Yeah, well, apparently I'm rolling like trash tonight.
You do this for some time. You have no real idea whether it's working or not. And I think maybe we'll find out next week.
Maybe.
Probably not.
We will continue this next week. Stopping a little early because I got some things to work on.
Oh dear.
This is another time where this party, when someone tells you not to go somewhere, then you just do it. And then something bad happens and you're like, oh fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
Ollie, you say something bad, I say something interesting.
True.
My favorite thing about this whole situation is if we can get it resolved in one night and then go wake up the next morning and Lady Fire's like, "What's up, guys? How did you sleep?" I'm like, great. Never slept better. Thanks for asking.
Absolutely.
I don't know where all my dice luck went. It's gone.
Maybe next week you'll have better luck. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm putting a stamper damper in it.
Yeah.
I feel like that might not happen, is the thing. I feel like I might just be cursed.
Ian too.
You know, it could be worse. Ian's a delightful fellow.
You're not allowed to be nice on this stream.
Those are good portents.
Man, that would have
Doesn't
been
matter, I
really
haven't
nice to
woken up
have.
yet.
Exactly.
thought before.
And this will be a problem we deal with next week as we help Univara escape her dreams.
Elves don't dream. Elves don't sleep.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, my next step was to just put Void Crystal in your...
Yeah, that's why I'm stopping, because I thought the escalation would just get much worse.
It's the next logical step, really. So, you know.
So, we're gonna end off here. This is the bit where you talk about yourselves and your existence.
I do that sometimes.
Go ahead.
I've been known to exist on occasion.
That doesn't sound right.
Right?
That's not right.
What it do? I am Josiah, also known as Dungeon Dad. I have a YouTube channel, so D&D. It's about monsters. It's about old monsters, monsters that don't exist, monsters of which you could not even conceive. And then we convert them to 5th edition, complete with stat blocks and all that fun stuff. This week's monster is a Kurobozu, which is basically what happens when a monk takes a vow to do cool monk stuff and then says, actually, I'm good, and doesn't do that stuff, and then dies, and then becomes an undead monk set on destroying its former order. Bad time.
Neat.
It's soups neat. I also released an album, apparently, of really dark synthwave shit, in the most literal meaning. Inspired by D&D. It's called Cantrips, with a K and a Z, because edge. Yeah. You can find that on YouTube under Chill Touch, or on Bandcamp, also under Chill Touch. I think the specific Bandcamp link, Chill Touch, was already taken, so I used 1d8 damage is the Bandcamp link.
Yes!
But yeah, you can find that Twitter, YouTube, all that good stuff. Listen to it while you watch my videos on mute or whatever. You just make your own music video of me looking at a screen. Anyways, that's my pitch. So take it, don't take it. Bazinga. Go ahead.
Aaron, what it up, my dog?
Hi, I'm Aaron. I also exist. I exist here every Sunday. And you can ask me all your D&D questions. I'm super familiar with pretty much every edition. I'm on Oli's Discord, so you can hit me up there. See you guys next week.
Someone who currently doesn't exist is Tesh, but check him out. He's doing some Borderlands 3 stuff at the moment. If you want to vicariously live a game that isn't out on Steam yet and is probably expensive, I haven't actually looked it up, but I'm going to take a wild guess. That's a good way to do it. Borderlands 3 actually has some really fun-looking Twitch integration, so it's a fun time. But I also have a fun time with my prime lad, William.
Hi, I'm Will. I'm a figment of your imagination. And you can find me here on Sundays. Maybe. But also, I got some projects coming up, some cool stuff. I mentioned the last time we played, got some cool stuff actually coming up with both Josiah and Oli. We're working on some secret projects, but there is some progress on those, and actually some really cool stuff that Oli just...
I just shit it all out.
Oli froze there, so that was good timing. Apart from that, no, I'm actually working on a personal project as well right now. That's just a compilation of some stuff that I put together for D&D. That has taken me a very long time and is about guns, mostly, because Murica. But mostly about integrating early firearms into your games in a way that's actually logical and reasonable, that doesn't go to the point of making guns some absurd integration that doesn't really work for D.
It's a slippery slope, adding that to your system.
Yeah, and so the idea behind that was to create a rule set that really applies well for it and integrates them actually in a meaningful way that allows essentially history to move forward in the world that you're creating with a certain sense of modernity, but not necessarily doing it in a way that is gonna make things unbalanced. So working on that project for myself, mainly because I like pirates, which you probably are going to be seeing more of from me in the future, because I have actually made a decision recently, after dealing with some shady publishing agents, to actually go ahead and self-publish my first book. So I will be working on that over the next...
pirate book!
over the next couple months. It is a pirate fantasy adventure novel. I'm actually really excited about it.
That's why he knows so much about barrels.
Yes, it's why I know so much about barrels. Actually, why? Because there's legitimate reasons for me to know about shipping quantities. And anyways, look, it's a whole thing. But if you want to know more about barrels and guns and stuff about slashing and piracy and pirate ships and actually just genuinely some cool fantasy swordsmanship and sorcery stuff as well in that book, I'm actually really excited. It's going to be more details on that coming in the near future. So that's my announcements. I actually had shit to talk about today, which is rare. So speaking of someone who always has shit to talk about.
Oh, I was gonna go. Someone else who's coming in the near future is me.
I wasn't gonna say it. Look, that's your business to say.
I was talking about during the break that very highbrow humor here, especially on the other streams that I do. My blanket got in the way. I'm wearing a blanket. I could be wearing anything down here, but it's a blanket. This is not the only piece of Oli entertainment you can get in your weekly entertainment module given to you by the government. This show, I'm scheming about next week. We might have something a little special next week. But we're also going to have soon a new Wednesday game. Not this Wednesday, hopefully the Wednesday after. We are starting a new game there that is called
What
Jarviskjir Horn of Plenty. Unless
happened
I
to
change
the other one?
Killed all the elderly people in Narashiro and retired.
They retired
Oi.
off to an island, to a farm. They're living their best life. Also, though, Mother's Horn? Is it gonna happen to Mother's Horn? Fuck yeah! Minotaur pirates!
Yes. Maybe William hit a nail on the head. Maybe if you know about some of the deeper lore of Narashiro, Jarviskjir, we might be seeing a little bit of something new, something entirely different. But everything is always connected. But there's more! Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, I'm currently doing other streams. There is a Pokemon Emerald Randomizer run, which is also being uploaded to YouTube. That is just me hanging out with you guys, and we have a little one-on-one, we have a little 2v2. We gonna take over the gyms, and you can be there too. I'm 2 with 2, I don't care. Also, there's a Pokemon project. Basically, those streams, I can do whatever I want. It's my life. I'm working on multiple secret projects with multiple people. I just did some teasers on the Patreon. I'm really enjoying working on this stuff at the moment, and that's good. You can support everything I do currently with one Patreon that might be changing in the future. And when we say goodbye, you're going to be able to see those Patreon people and say Max thank you to them. I don't know who Max thank you is, but he's very polite. There's also another show on Patreon if you like it. It's the Monday Game. The Monday Game is very sexual at the moment, and that means you should watch it. Listen to it. That's it. I'm out of brain. So, see you later.